You are walking down a street. A stranger is walking toward you. Your eyes meet for half a second. Something tightens in your chest. You look away. Nothing happened, no threat, no danger, but your body reacted anyway, and you probably never asked why. The easy answer is that strangers are unpredictable, and unpredictable things make you cautious. But the real answer is far stranger. That flicker of tension is not a modern habit. It is a 200,000-year-old alarm system, and it is still running exactly as it was built to run. Your brain did not evolve in a world of strangers. For almost all of human history, you would have known every single face you ever saw. Small bands, tight groups, maybe 50 people, maybe 150, all of them familiar, all of them mapped in your memory. The anthropologist Robin Dunbar studied this limit directly. He proposed that the human brain can only maintain around 150 stable social relationships at once, a number now known as Dunbar's number. Beyond that number, faces stop being individuals. They become categories, threat or not threat, known or unknown. Think about what that means. For nearly the entire span of your species, an unfamiliar face was not a curiosity, it was an anomaly. And anomalies in the ancestral world were dangerous by default, because a stranger might belong to a rival group, might be a threat to your resources, your territory, your children. Your ancestors who treated unfamiliar faces with instant caution were more likely to survive than the ones who didn't. That caution got passed down, not as a decision, as a reflex. You can see this reflex forming before a child ever learns a single word. The psychologist Jerome Kagan spent decades studying infant temperament, and one of the most consistent patterns he documented is something developmental researchers call stranger anxiety. Somewhere around 8 or 9 months old, almost every infant on Earth begins to cry or freeze when an unfamiliar adult gets close, even if that adult is smiling, even if the parent is right there. Nobody teaches a baby to do this. It appears on its own, right on schedule, like a switch flipping. That is not learned fear. That is inherited fear, arriving exactly when it always has. Here's the part most people never think about. That switch never turns off. It just gets quieter as you grow older, buried under decades of manners and socialization. You learn to nod at strangers. You learn to hold the door. You learn the entire choreography of public politeness. But underneath the choreography, the ancient system is still scanning, still measuring, still asking the same question your ancestors asked around a fire 50,000 years ago. Is this person one of us or one of them? The psychologist Robert Zajonc gave this system a name when he studied it in the laboratory. He called it the mere exposure effect, and the finding was almost embarrassingly simple. People rate unfamiliar faces, unfamiliar words, even unfamiliar shapes as less trustworthy and less likable than familiar ones, purely because they are unfamiliar. No other information required, just repeated exposure to something and it becomes safer in your mind, whether or not it actually is. Zajonc ran this experiment again and again, with nonsense syllables, with photographs, with random symbols, and the pattern held every time. Your brain does not wait for evidence of danger. It treats unfamiliarity itself as the danger signal. Now, hold that idea next to modern life for a second. You commute past hundreds of strangers a day. You live in apartment buildings full of people you have never spoken to. You scroll past thousands of unfamiliar faces on a screen before lunch. Your ancestors, across their entire lifetime, might have seen a few hundred human faces total. You see more than that before breakfast. Your alarm system was built for a world of scarcity, a world where a new face was rare and worth taking seriously. It was never built for a world of constant, meaningless novelty. And yet it still fires the same way, over and over, dozens of times a day for people who will never matter to you at all. This is where the twist gets uncomfortable, because the system is not just cautious, it's also lazy in a very specific evolutionary sense. It does not have time to gather real information about a stranger's character, so it substitutes something faster: surface signals, posture, clothing, speed of movement, facial expression. Group researchers studying intergroup psychology have found that this snap judgment happens in a fraction of a second, often before conscious thought even engages. You are not really evaluating a stranger when you feel that flicker of unease. You are pattern matching them against an ancient, blunt category built for a world that no longer exists. And here's the strangest part of all. This same system, the one that makes you tense around a stranger on the sidewalk, is the same system that makes you instantly relaxed around someone from your hometown, your alma mater, your favorite team's jersey. It's not really about danger, it's about tribe. Your nervous system is constantly running a silent count: us or not us, in or out. Familiar signals shortcut the fear response almost instantly, which is why a shared accent, a shared logo, a shared inside joke can turn a stranger into an ally in seconds. The wiring that makes you wary of the unknown is the exact same wiring that makes belonging feel so good. They're two sides of the same ancient tool. So what do you do with all of this? You cannot switch the system off. It's older than language, older than agriculture, older than the concept of a city. But you can understand it, and understanding changes how much power it has over you. The next time you feel that flicker walking past someone you don't know, you can recognize it for what it actually is, not evidence that something is wrong, just a 50,000-year-old habit firing on autopilot, reacting to a world it was never designed for. Every stranger you pass today will trigger the same tiny, ancient alarm your ancestors felt around every unfamiliar face they ever saw. The difference is their world gave that alarm meaning. Yours mostly doesn't. And maybe the most useful thing you can do the next time a stranger's eyes meet yours for half a second is let the flicker pass and remember that the tension in your chest is not a warning about them. It's a message from someone who has been gone for 50,000 years, still trying to protect you from a world that no longer exists.